Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Functioning Chat with Kettle Kitchen. I'm glad you're all here. I want to say hi to everybody inside of the wonderful chat. Jamie's Country Living. Yes, sorry, it's on slow mo. We're back to normal again. Not as long, though, so hopefully we'll be a little better that way. Dark Lord Minute, Butler Family Farm, Joey, Renee Pike Creek Farm, Treasure Hunter, hello. Of course, it jumped up a million miles away. Beth Cornett, welcome in. Thank you for coming. And Big Valley Living's in with us. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody up. We'll start with Ginger from Not For Nothing Homestead. Hello, and thank you for coming.
Thank
Then
you.
we'll go to Michelle from Big Valley Living. Hello. Thank you for coming in. I'm assuming JJ's on the other end, or is that you chatting away?
That's me being chatty Cathy.
Okay. All right.
So if I knock us all off, I'm sorry.
Well, we've all done it once or 10,000 times, so it doesn't really matter. And then we got the lovey people up in Kansas, Dale and Lisa.
Oh, get a room, Dale. Get a room.
Hello.
They did.
So I do. So I did see that Tanya Shepard, my sister Tanya with an A, Tony with an A. It's her. We're doing her birthday today, so happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Tony with an A.
Yes, absolutely.
And I thought I seen somebody else jump in here. Yeah, I think I got everybody.
Did you get Butler Family Farm?
Yes, I got them a while ago.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
Yes, thank you. All right, so this is our shorter one, so I'm going to try to get through this as quick as we can. I'm here to tell you my house smells wonderful right now.
What does it smell like?
Chili.
Smell like chili.
Nice.
Yes.
Beans
it might smell good now, but it might not smell good later.
Always. Here in the armpit of Canada, we use beans. I see Janet Homestead where you are has joined us. Brenda Freedom Redbird has joined us.
Well, Daisy never barks. Hello, Daisy.
Hello, Daisy.
Well, she's not the one that got yelled at the other day.
I got two behind me growling and wrestling, so if you hear them, I'm sorry. All right, guys. So today's conversation is, what do we do with proteins out of our pantry? How do we make them? What do we make with them? Mitchell's joined us. Thank you for coming in. Hold on just a second.
Dale and Lisa and me, I guess we're the only ones that are not muted.
Yes.
Yeah.
How's it going
Your
over there?
fluff balls must not be in the house, or else they would be barking too.
They're in the house. We're outside.
Oh, that's right.
Well, not outside. We're on the kitchen. We're on the kitchen side. They're on the other side. Yeah. They're napping. It's like having two infants all over again. I mean,
bet it is.
All over again. It is so funny, but they're hysterical. They crack
Hello to one and all in the chat. I've seen several of you said hi to us, and
yes, hello everybody.
We're not in the chat, but hello to you all.
Well, that's kind of selfish, isn't it?
No.
Wow. Somebody's sassy today.
Yeah, right.
Got their sassy pants on.
Share all that love and then keep it to yourself. What's that all about?
I got on my overalls.
Overalls?
Sassy pants.
I went upstairs wearing the sassy pants.
Yeah.
Lots of people joining.
Yeah. Hello, Chris and Larry Homestead. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Treasure.
Right. So we're talking about protein. So it's been part of this conversation we've had. What do we do with the things inside of our pantry? to maybe give people ideas. Now, the homework was established. I dropped the ball and I released everybody from their responsibility on it. So I'm just being honest, so everybody knows. We will talk about it, but we don't have any recipes for you. We can get to those.
Yay!
So that being said, let's jump down to Michelle. Michelle, what kind of proteins do you make out of your pantry? Now, these can be meat or meatless. They don't have to be meat proteins only.
Did you say pantry?
Pantry.
Like you're from Europe or something? Pantry.
Talk about sassy pants.
I would like a spot of coffee today. That's not
anyway.
That's a far
stretch.
What's
really happening in our life right now?
Yeah,
this is really happening in your life. Yeah. You might want to consider some of those directions you're heading down. I just wanted to throw that out.
Hey, Dark Lord.
So, Michelle, please tell us what kind of proteins you make out of your pantry.
Well, we really, really love beans here. So we have black beans, kidney beans, green beans, and pintos all the time, in dried or canned. And we eat beans a lot. So that's a really good plant source of protein. We have a little bit of chicken, which it's the only time we've ever canned meat, and I have to say I like it. And now we're doing proteins using like super greens. So we've got kale and spinach. Yes, beans are good for your heart. They're full of fiber.
I knew, but somebody was going to start that sing song.
You know, it's going through my head right now.
It was going to be Dale that started it.
But yeah, we so I found out today that a tablespoon of like powdered spinach or kale or something has 2 grams of protein. That's quite a bit for a plant to be packing around.
Yeah,
so, it is. Yeah, and then of course cheese. Cheese is a protein, right? And eggs. So I guess we consume an awful lot of protein. This exercise made me think about how much in our pantry is actually comprised of proteins, more than carbs.
So do you have like a recipe you could share with everybody? You don't have to have it printed, but or at least tell them ideas of specific meals you would make with said proteins.
Well, I mean, we like bean burritos a lot. Okay, that's just like a simple thing to go to, right? So we'll just take out some pintos and turn them into refried beans real quick on the stove, and then wrap them up with some cheese, onion, and hot sauce. And then I don't know if you guys saw it, but I made a like a casserole that has hamburger and peppers and refried beans, and you use crackers to dip it. Oh my gosh. And we actually make that into a meal. It's so good. So that and green bean chili.
I saw your spaghetti sauce.
My spaghetti sauce.
What powders did you put in that? You put
I put kale and rainbow chard. And it was good. JJ said he thought it was richer. I didn't notice any difference, but I know that I got extra protein.
Yeah.
And nutrients. So, yeah.
And it didn't look like it changed the color much either.
I didn't know what to expect.
Huh?
I didn't know what to expect, actually. Yeah. So it was an experiment.
It looked good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So one thing I want to throw out here, Tanya had said earlier that Danny said oatmeal with peanut. It's peanut butter, and there's quite a few of us around here that actually will eat that.
I've never had that.
It's protein. It is protein. So
do you mix it in? Like, do you
mix it in together? Yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, and actually, theoretically, if you throw some chocolate into that, like Hershey's chocolate, it's almost the same flavor as a no-bake cookie. I mean, obviously, it's not done yet, but it gives you that flavor. So, I mean, if you're looking for something with a different flavor, profile, that's one way you can do it. My dad used to take peanut butter, oatmeal, what else did he put in it? Syrup and something else. I can't remember, but I mean, he would sit there and he would eat that and he would get full off of it. Now, I'm not saying everybody should go out and do that. I'm just saying it's something different that will provide you protein as well. So,
that sounds good.
Yeah. Smoothies with peanut powder. That's a good one.
There you go.
Brenda says peanut butter and beans gagger, so she won't be doing that.
I'll put them together.
You won't be doing either one of them. No.
You're not a peanut butter person?
I'm not either.
Oh wow, I love peanut butter.
We'll buy a jar because every American home apparently must have a jar of peanut butter. And usually right around the expiration date, I'll either try and make peanut butter cookies or out it goes and it gets replaced by another one. It's not that I don't like it. It's just, I don't crave it or anything like that. I never have.
I'm so different because I get a craving for peanut butter every once in a while. Yeah. Chris says she eats peanut butter on her burgers. Okay,
whoa.
I can
know about that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
They do things different down there in Arizona.
Arizona.
Wow. That is super interesting. And what's a griffin? Griffin syrup. Okay.
Maybe.
I think
so. Yeah, I've never heard of Griffin's syrup before.
I think it's real close to K-Row syrup.
Oh.
K-Row syrup.
K-Row.
Caro.
No, it's K-Row.
It's Caro. But anyways, Jerry brings up a good point. Another source of protein is nuts. Peanuts. And any of your nuts are a good source of protein.
Yep.
Nut butters work just like Renee said.
Yeah.
So, All right. So
wow, Dark Lord Minute.
Is that it for you? Or
down? Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just that's really cool. Dark Lord Minute. That's all I got for now. I want everybody to have a chance for show and tell.
All right. So Dale and Lisa, how about you? What kind of things do you do with proteins out of your pantry?
So maybe I'm different, but my pantry also includes my freezers. So we have freezer. We always try to keep roughly 50 whole chickens in the freezer at all times. We keep roughly a hog in our freezer. Not to mention then we are canning and dehydrating portions of that now that we have a dehydrator. And canning is relatively newer to us, but now we've started the canning processes to make sure that it's shelf stable in case we lose power, which I do have generator in case if I do, so I don't lose that. But that to me, that's considered part of our pantry. And so that opens up so many of our meals, you can do all kinds of things in the crock pot. Right now, we've got 12-hour chicken cooking in the crock pot that we will debone, and I will make chicken and dumplings later. I
know I want to go to their house for dinner.
And then
Joey heard that.
That doesn't. Then we also are like Michelle. We keep a lot of beans in our dry can pantry. So in the form of canned beans. We have started keeping some just dry beans also, not just canned beans. And actually, we utilize those dry beans faster. We try to use them up and leave those stores of canned beans. The peanut butter, I hadn't even really thought about peanut butter is like for us is a staple in the house. Like it's always there. Peanut butter, I love saltine crackers, peanut butter, regular butter, and honey. That's like a snack for me.
That's good.
You might just get me to finish off that jar of peanut butter that's in there.
And then we also, of course, are going to have venison mixed in that. So Roosters really got into, well, come on, Joey. There'll be plenty. But we also, Rooster with his deer this year, he's really got into jerkying most of that deer. So putting it up as jerky. We haven't really got into canning our venison yet, but usually we eat it so fast that we don't get a chance to can.
When you're ready, I happen to know a chick.
I think I know a lady that's really good at it. But so as far as recipes go, you know, we're so based on that we have that whole cut setting there in a freezer that we can make all kinds of meals. Like one of the go-tos for me is going to be a pork steak, you know, homemade gravy, mashed potatoes, corn, you know, or a vegetable on the side. The chicken, like I say, it's so easy to put a whole chicken in a crock pot before you go to work, or, you know, as you're getting ready in the morning, turn on the crock pot, drop the chicken in that's thawed out in the refrigerator over the day before. By the time you get home, you can either eat just, you know, a crock potted chicken or a roasted chicken for some people, you know, with any kind of a side through on with it, or you can pull that to make other meals, or for lunches and everything. We've pretty commonly we'll cook one like that. We'll pull it out. We'll let it cool, pull that chicken off that carcass, dice it, mix it in with mayonnaise, pickle relish, and then you'll have sandwiches, chicken salad sandwiches for the rest of the week.
So good.
That's good. See, and that's the other thing that's a beauty about pantry style cooking is that usually you're getting, depending on how you do it, I guess, but usually here in this house, there's multiple meals we get out of each meal. So, you know, that helps out as well.
You know, it's kind of like Tony was saying with the chili thing, you know, that ended up being like 5 or 6 meals, that chili for us. You know, Michelle, like you were talking in your chili video, you know, take that leftover chili, put it on a baked potato, put it with rice, put it, you know, add it. Even we'll talk about Tiffany at Bud Mascara with the hot dogs and the chili. You know, that would be like a meal later.
We love having chili dogs a couple days after we have chili.
Yeah.
It tastes better, it's thicker, and oh my goodness, we look forward to that.
That's good. All right. Are you done?
Whenever. I can talk about meat all day, buddy.
I know you can, but I don't want to cut you off either. I mean, if you got something you need to get out there.
No, that's fine.
Gosh,
there is one more thing that I do want to talk about that we've talked before, and we were going to talk about it last time, and we didn't talk about it this time.
That's a lot of we shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
When you're cooking, say, bacon or pork chops or anything like that, you're going to end up with the dripping. You're going to have extra leftover grease. Don't throw it away.
Yep.
Get you a grease drippings jar or container. I prefer a jar. Drain that, strain it as you drain it into that jar. Quit spending so much money on Crisco and all this vegetable oil and grease and everything. You're making it constantly as you are cooking. Save that. Reuse that. Not to mention that is a perfect base to make your own gravies and sauces and things along that line.
I hear it's good for popcorn too.
It is great as a popcorn.
Did you try that, Dale? Did you guys try it?
Yes, and it's
my! It's a game changer.
It's so good.
I liked it.
One thing I want to hit on that Janet had brought up. Sorry, I'm eating candy. One of the biggest challenges, at least we have always struggled with, because we always just make larger meals. When you try to downsize, it's really hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The best recommendation I can give you is before you start making your meal, cut it in half, quarter it, 3/4 it. Don't bring out enough. If it's becoming to where you're wasting the food,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Janet is. I'm just as example. If you end up throwing it out because you don't know what to do with it, you're making way too much.
Yeah.
So, and like Patty just said, you can always freeze it. There's other things you can do with it, but I'm sure there's some people that we just had chili. I'm not going to have chili within the next 2 weeks again because, it doesn't want to become repetitive, but I would freeze it. I would do something with it. But if it's becoming a problem, I would say downsize your recipe. Figure out what you're going to bring out ahead of time so you're not wasting the food that way. So
Yeah.
And we like to freeze food and just put it into single portions that can be brought back out again, because there are a lot of neat tools now that allow you to freeze extra portions. And
Right.
I struggled with trying to make like one pot of chili that we would only eat one day and maybe have chili dogs another day. But it never turns out right because we want too many beans in it. So
Mm-hmm.
I just freeze a bunch of it up in blocks and then bring it out as we want it. And it'll last for months that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see, Janet, they don't throw it out. They have a
Right.
plan. And that's what we do. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I know for us, we used to, so we kind of went through that whole transition. We used to make a whole lot of food that we've touched on before. And then we kind of went to not quite enough. Now we're kind of going back to the bigger portion, but planning out, like we're saying, planning out, okay, we're going to freeze this much of it. We're going to utilize this portion of it for lunch tomorrow or for supper tomorrow evening, something along that line. So instead of cooking, say, 2 pork chops, we'll cook 6. And then we'll have 2 for dinner. We'll have 2 for, supper that will be utilized in a different way, but are already pre-cooked, just warm up to utilize in that meal. And then I'll have lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Because anymore, you cannot afford to go out and eat for lunch. I mean, it's $10 plus to eat lunch if you're working in town. I mean, you just can't do it.
And it's not like a full lunch anymore either. I mean, it's a pretty small portion.
Hello, Dirt Road Destiny.
We don't even get drinks anymore. We always have water and coffee and stuff with us.
Yeah.
So that's just for the food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just reading Barb's Country Home says forever soup.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I like the idea that Suburban Homestead said to take your beef stew and then use it as a
Barb's Country Home. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And to your point, Dale, we stopped last night on the way back from getting the puppies because it was late and it was raining all day and we were traveling. So we just thought we'd swing through a fast food and get something. It was $33
for fast food.
Yeah.
Me, Joey, and Joseph, and 3 burgers. We got his, we got a meal and we got his large, Joseph's large, but Joey and I stuck with like a small and a small drink. $33 for the 3 of us. So that's, it's crazy.
Hello, Unmanned Urban Homestead. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
Oh, thank you, Dirt Road Destiny. They are a handful right now, as you can well imagine.
So, Ginger, how about you? What kind of proteins do you do out of your pantry?
I do love the venison. I love my venison. So when I chunk it like you do chicken and then can it, if Joey and I are in a crunch, we'll take a jar of venison out, heat it up, get some sub rolls, put some mozzarella cheese in the bottom, Tiffany now calls them gingy sandwiches because she has them. She said, I just crave them now. But mozzarella on the bottom, the deer meat, you know, just it just falls apart just like chicken does when you can chicken. So you just put that in there with a little bit of the juice, put some more mozzarella on the top, throw it in the toaster. Well, not the toaster oven, but the oven on broil so you can get the top brown and the cheese melted. And oh my gosh, those things are like that, instantly ready. And it's just a pop a jar and decorate and go. So it makes it really easy. The other thing, and I think I did a video on it in Can It or Scan It, was the little packs of, they use their Sargento packs.
Yep.
They have almonds in them. They have Swiss cheese. Well, theirs has white cheddar. I put Swiss cheese in mine because it's a little bit better for you. And then dried cranberries. And so those little snack packs, if I'm feeling a little munchy and it's between meals, I can grab one of those and it will just completely satisfy me until the next. And you can tell the almonds are giving you that boost of protein that you need.
Yep.
I have to name that a Georgia cheesesteak. I like that.
Good idea.
Call that Georgia cheesesteak. Yeah.
Have you made that on a video? I haven't seen that. You need to make a video.
No, I haven't. I will have to do that. It would be a short and quick one, and it's so easy and so delicious. Oh my gosh.
The closest I've ever gotten to it is I seen the end result just before they ate it. That's the closest I've gotten.
Yes, but Tiffany has sent me pictures of her because they got some venison too. And she has sent me some pictures. We're having gingy sandwiches again tonight. She keeps calling them that. But when they came here, that was what we fed them the day they came. Because we didn't want to leave the property, you know, because they were just coming for the day. So we wanted to hang out.
Freeze or is it just me?
Oh, did I freeze?
It must be you because she's
just you.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, I don't see me frozen.
Okay, so if I'm talking and I look paused and puzzled, then evidently my internet's struggling today. So sorry, guys.
All right. Yes, but anyway, so that's what we fed them, and they absolutely love them. So they're delicious. Chips on the side, and a big glass of sweet tea, and you got it going on.
Yeah.
And that's a free meal.
Right.
When eating out is when I go to my parents' house. Yeah, that's a free meal. Oh, thank you, Destiny. Yes, yeah. I love those little packs, and they're so much cheaper to make on your own. And
and they look so good because you can customize it to whatever you want.
Yes,
right.
They are. They are so good.
So, are you done, Ginger?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So here at our house, I think obviously it took having to do it to realize it, but when I was able to start canning meat and realizing that I can just walk to my pantry and pick up something that night or plan for the next day, or several times it's been, what are we going to make? I just walk in there and grab it and there we go. One of the things we like doing, especially with the chicken that I can, but I want to try it with the pork, is enchiladas. They're already ready to go. You just got to pull it apart and the meat's ready and you make it, you know, and we treat it as a chicken enchilada, which we use a white sauce with, but you still have the same flavors. Or if you like the red sauce, I'm sure that works out just fine too. But
yes,
that is a really good thing, I think, that we've utilized, you know. Another thing is we like stir fry. If we're going to do stir fry, we already have the meat's already ready to go. I don't have to do anything to it, you know, other than crumble it up a little and it's ready to go. So I think the benefit of having it has proven itself. I think the struggle is finding the price that's right so you can do it. That's the struggle.
Yes.
So,
because if you go with a pint a pound the world around,
yeah,
you're going to need at least like 8.5 pounds to fill your canner if you're doing like pork. Now chicken is a little bit lower because of the increased headspace now, but You're gonna need at least 8 pounds, 8 plus, to worth your while to can it.
Yep.
Yeah. Tony, do you guys have Smart and Final up there?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I just saw Tom Garvey did oh my gosh, he made these amazing tacos with a hot sauce that's to die for. And he
Mhm.
got this massive pack of pork. It was boneless pork. And if you were canning pork, it looked to me, I mean, it's hard to quantify when you're looking at it, right?
Right.
But there must have been 15, 20 pounds of really nice looking pork in that package.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you
They
know,
used to do those big sales at Publix.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't have one of those either.
No, I don't have one. The closest one is like an hour. Well, 45 minutes from me.
I'm going to go with it's probably hours away from me. So,
Probably.
hello, Al Shafe. Thank you for coming in. So I think the important part, again, you know, running through this series as we have, is that the importance of your pantry is so beneficial, and starting it at any time is better than not having it at all. That's really what it comes down to. Ooh, did you see that, Ginger?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Look, you gave me an idea for my next video. There you go.
Yes.
Deer enchiladas.
Yes. That would be a good thing. Yeah.
Yes. Mama
Yeah.
4 boys, thank you for coming in.
She said she's scared. She wants to can, but she's scared too. Any of these people up here will be happy to help you.
Yes.
If you've got questions, we all have our emails and our about pages. It's all about sharing the love, sharing the knowledge. If there's something that you need help with, or you're just hesitant, please reach out, because it's only going to benefit you to learn how to can.
Yeah. And really, the food is, oh my, you know, I was afraid to can meat.
You're welcome.
I was very afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not difficult, and it's so handy to
It
just,
is.
because I forget, I'm home all day, and I still forget to take meat out of the freezer to thaw.
I know, right?
It's like 1 in the
Yeah.
afternoon, and I'm like, well, that's not going to happen today, is it?
Right.
Sorry, Tony, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to get the point across is that it doesn't matter when you start it, just start it, because you will find it will benefit you so much more by doing that. And I'll be honest, and we had this conversation last night when we were talking. I never wanted to can meat because it always looked gross to me. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the way it looked. But once you taste it and see how easy it is, it wasn't that. I'm loving it. So
yeah. And once you get it in your dish,
yes,
it doesn't look like that.
No. What was that, Dale?
I was going to say, and those cuts that typically people don't know how to utilize it because they think it's a tough cut,
Right?
Or it's a drier cut. You know, venison's a fine example. A lot of people give up on venison because it's a drier, a leaner protein.
Mm-hmm.
So they give up on it. You know, I don't know how to make it that it's not dry or it's not tough or whatever. When you can it, something magical happens in there.
Well, okay. So let's back up just a second. It's not something magical, even though I get your point behind it. It's science. It is
science, but
it's a breakdown of the structure in the meat. That's what's happening. So
and it just pulls all that juice into the meat as it's under pressure. Yeah.
Now, what's magical about it is the beauty of pulling a can off your shelf and saying it's done. All I got to do is warm it up. That's the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama 4 boys, you go.
Yes.
You need any help,
just let us know.
Yeah.
reach out.
Most of us here, I'm assuming, will be happy to help anytime. So
Absolutely.
again, it's the same thing we all keep saying in all our lives and all the times we get up. The only dumb question is the one not asked. So if you don't reach out to us, we can't help you. We don't know that there's an issue. Yes, Finger, what can I do for you?
She asked, once you can meat on the shelf, how long will it last? About 12 to 18 months, if you hang on to it that long.
Exactly.
Because once you try it like that, and you have that convenience of just popping a jar and throwing it in, popping a jar, making enchiladas like Tony did, or making burritos, or making chicken and dumplings, or whatever. Yeah, like everybody up here, you're gonna go through it like that. But then your
Hello,
mind,
Carlene.
or you're gonna look for those sales, and you're gonna say, I can all that. That's awesome.
Yep.
I will say, if you can meat, my first piece of advice is put it in a wide mouth jar.
Yes,
Yes, definitely.
100% concur.
Yep.
So I did. So again, Carlene Vasseur came in, so I just want to make sure we said hi to her.
Hey, Carly.
Unmanned Urban Homestead asked a question, and I'm not sure of the question. I'm going to go with what I think the question is. What should I use in place of oil?
In canned meat.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, if that's what they're saying, because I don't use oil in my canned meat.
I haven't had, I mean, I've only done the chicken, but we didn't need to use any oil in it. So,
Yeah, I don't. It makes all of its own juices, so you don't need any oil in it.
Well, I wonder if you're referring to what to use cooking because of our conversation about the drippings.
Right. And that's possible. I'm asking for clarification, I guess, is what I'm really asking.
Yeah.
So
The drippings.
in making homemade dumplings.
Yes.
So what does she use in place of oil when making homemade dumplings?
I don't use oil.
yeah.
I don't either.
But Dark Lord
I
Minute
use the boiling broth.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Michelle?
Dark Lord Minute said sour cream. That would work. It's got
It would
fat.
actually. Yeah, I never thought of it, but it would work.
That would probably
That's a
make it
good
very
point.
rich.
Yeah. Huh. There you go.
Is that a chocolate chip cookie, Dale?
It's better. It's a zucchini oatmeal chocolate chip cookie from our stored zucchini.
Oh, wow.
Yum.
That sounds like that.
Suburban Hillbilly also threw out that you could use Crisco or lard in place of oil if you're wanting to do that. So
Yeah.
I would go with the sour cream myself, though, because then it would have a richer,
okay. It's
thicker
because
flavor.
their dumplings turn gray when frozen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
I've
awesome.
never frozen them. They always go straight into the pot.
I don't do them that way either. So that's something new to me.
That's the one thing that we make, and it just there's like nothing left when we get done.
Okay, families like ours, everybody fishes them out and makes sure that everybody gets the same amount.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Dale, you've intrigued me with your using. You said chicken stock to make your dumplings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
We cook the chicken. We cook our chicken, and actually I have a recipe on a video, and it was for my fermented video. It was using sourdough discard, and I made discard sourdough drop dumplings and chicken. So I use an Instapot. I cook my chicken in the Instapot, or I'll cook it like we did this one for, I call it 12-hour chicken. I put it in a crock pot for 12 hours and let it cook. Peel or pull all the chicken, put it back in that pot, turn it on high, and then get that to a rolling boil. Use that stock, add any additional stock you have to. Your other spices, roughly a half of a stick of butter, add it into it because I love butter. Butter. And then you make up a basic biscuit mixture, like you're going to make biscuits. Except for instead of forming the biscuits to instead of forming the dough to make biscuits, I form the dough and very thin and just drop small pieces into the boiling broth with the chicken in it.
Okay.
And then they will blow up and become very fluffy.
Oh.
So you drop, you stir, you drop, you stir.
Okay.
Is this in your fall into sourdough?
Yep, it's my fall
Okay.
into sourdough video.
There you go. I just posted the link for everybody.
Oh, nice.
And it even gives you the recipe for the dumpling and everything.
Okay.
Yes, I did say zucchini, oatmeal, chocolate chip cookie.
Can we get that recipe sometime soon?
Be watching
Nana.
on Nana's channel for a video.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Thanks,
There you
Nana.
So do you guys, before we move on or out of this realm, did you guys have anything else to add to the protein conversation as far as from our pantry?
I want to talk. I think that also we need to think about things like garbanzo beans. I think those are a really great source of protein, and they're kind of underutilized, you know.
Yes.
And lentils.
And
So I'm glad you brought that up because, and I'm really glad you brought that up. At least from my perspective, Kettle Kitchen, anytime I talk about beans, it's inclusive of all beans because I don't necessarily care for lentils. I don't care for split peas, but it doesn't mean we don't have them and I wouldn't use them.
Yeah.
I
So,
like them because they don't have to be soaked. It's a quick way to get
Right.
those beans, and that's
right.
handy. Like if you do forget to take your other protein out of the freezer.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
So,
I'm typically such a meat eater that I tend to forget about the protein that is supplied from a plant base.
Mhm.
Right.
But yeah, beans and things like that is so they're so underutilized. Or
I think I was just photobombed. Sorry.
Oh,
that was funny.
But yeah, like split pea soup. I see Renee from Pike Creek Farm. She just put out a video with the
so
split pea
good.
soup. And we are not peas people. We don't eat peas.
The soup looked really good,
But
though.
the soup looked like really good.
Did you see like the chunks of potato and carrot?
Yes.
I never have done that. And I've never made a broth. I usually just put water and onions and garlic in there, throw the peas in. I don't even use a ham hock anymore because I will not pay $5 for a stinking ham hock.
Now that's the only part of that whole video that I was like almost in tears when she took the meat out of it and she's like, well, I don't really like the meat, but the mister does. I'm like, you don't want the meat. I want the meat.
give it to me. Hey,
That was
don't.
some good looking soup, Renee.
It was.
I was muted and didn't catch it until just now. Hello, Don Ray B and Elliot. Thank you for coming in.
Suburban Hillbilly.
So
Ever
I
had
didn't realize
lentil-
the quinoa has protein in it also.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm?
What? Say that again?
Suburban
Mhm.
Hillbilly said she's
Quinoa
never.
has protein, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're
So
so
we're
good.
gonna-
They're tiny. They're tiny and they're packed with protein, and they have lots of iron in them, which is the reason I try to consume them as much as I can because I need the iron. But oh my gosh, try some lentils.
hmm
And
Lentils
Dale,
are good.
they are really good. Now those are a bean. Dale, you said you didn't like beans, but lentils are so great with pork. Hello. Oh my gosh.
Well, and pork and beans, let's talk about that. So ham hocks, I know what Michelle's talking about. But for us, where we have whole hog process, we always end up with ham hocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the traditional ham and beans is white navy beans and ham hock.
Yes.
I don't do white navy. I do brown pintos.
Yeah, that's good too. Yes.
You're muted, Michelle.
No,
By the
not
way,
anymore.
Not anymore, she said.
Not anymore.
This is tricolored quinoa.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff.
So it's really good, but if you do try it, rinse it very, very, very well like you would rice, because if you don't, it has just a very overly earthy smell to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have to go check something. I got something cooking, and I'm not going to disclose what it is. So if you guys could
Wonder what that
please,
is.
in discussion for a minute, let's discuss what we're going to talk about next week. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be right back.
Did you see Pike Creek Farms? You make taco meat from lentils for her daughter's vegetarian friends.
Yep,
What?
that sounds good.
Oh my
You know,
god.
another good source of like an alternative meat from a plant is jackfruit. And if you've never tried jackfruit, it
Mhm.
doesn't have its own flavor. So it'll pull in whatever it is that you make with it.
Yeah.
And I've had like fake pulled, vegetarian, if you will, or plant-based pulled pork. And if you didn't know that you were eating jackfruit over protein, you would not know it.
Oh wow.
It has the exact same texture. It's amazing.
Ah,
The very few times we've seen jackfruit here, it was economically unfriendly enough that we wouldn't even think about using it.
Was it in a can or was it one of those ginormous plants? I mean, it's like a nut or something. We just get it in cans. It's
Can.
easier to do that. Yeah.
Now-
Little can that I've seen. But
Okay. And they can it here in Northern California, so I think we can probably get it cheaper because it doesn't go as far. I'm sorry, Ginger.
no, Dark Lord Minute says that pumpkins are good with they have a lot of iron.
pumpkin
I know
seeds.
that. Pumpkin seed. Oh, just the seeds?
So like roast pumpkin seeds and you
Uh-huh.
eat them lot like sunflower seeds or something along that line.
Yep. My mom was from Detroit, and they have the best pumpkin seeds there. If you eat the shell and all, they're amazing. But I like pepitas too, just the inside. Those are good.
Yes. Those are good in those snack packs too.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah,
And with the cheese and the cranberries. Oh my gosh. Put those
absolutely.
Somebody noticed me, so that's fine.
We noticed you.
Come on.
So what did we decide? What are we talking about next
We
week?
haven't decided. We got off on another
Chatting.
subject.
We couldn't decide.
That was not
without
your
our leader.
homework. Your homework was not to go off on a side chat.
I blame Nana. It's her fault. She
Okay.
got us off on
We
it.
couldn't decide without our leader.
Since
Okay.
we were chasing a squirrel, why don't we come up with squirrel recipes?
Take
No,
me to
I'm
your
out.
leader.
I'm out.
Me too, Tony.
I'm done. No squirrels, raccoons, or possums for this boy, okay?
Lori Hyman.
Yes, hi, Lori. Okay, let me ask you this.
Grammy can. Hello, hello.
Is there something that is in your pantry that is not discussed enough?
It's not discussed enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think I utilize everything. And I
Okay.
think I
How
talk
about
about
veggie scraps? Do we all save our veggie scraps? Because I'm getting ready
got
to make some
see.
vegetable broth.
yes.
We have a bunch of veggie scraps in the freezer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Save those for sure. Yep.
I don't think we could sit and talk about it for an hour, though. That's the problem.
About veggie broth?
Well, yeah. Well,
Well, there's different broths. There's meat.
there's different broths. I mean, there is
and
that.
then there's poultry.
I can't keep my broth around. I can't. I mean, like right now, I'm already out of beef broth again. So
Mhm.
we, get them in the oven, and because I really do like making homemade beef broth.
Oh,
I didn't think it would be that much better than the stuff in the carton, but it is.
Mhm.
Spam.
Okay. Whether you like it or not, hear me out just for a second, okay? While some people don't like spam, there is some lunch meats that should be considered and should be in your pantry for meals and proteins if you have to have them. I think that might be a good conversation.
Mhm.
We keep seeing those 3-packs of the little hams that, they come in a little tin
Mhm.
at Costco.
Hey,
And
Angela.
we're almost thinking about buying one, a 3-pack, just to have it on hand. Then, of course, we'd have to find a way to use it.
Right.
But that would be a good way to do the beans if you wanted ham in your beans and everything.
Yeah.
And I need to address something that Angela just said. We are not getting notifications all the time either, Angela. We almost missed your live on Friday, and JJ
I
just
did.
happened to go in and see that you were live. So I don't know what's
Yep.
going on.
Yeah.
So
And I feel guilty because when we were talking about proteins, I left one out, and that was canned tuna. We always
Oh,
keep
yeah.
tuna in our
okay,
pantry.
okay. So we got like 9 minutes left. Let's save this conversation for next week. We'll talk about lunch meats, canned lunch meats for your pantry, but they can be home canned or store bought. We'll talk about tuna, Vienna sausages, spam, luncheon meat. I mean, anything that falls into that category.
Mm-hmm.
And have that conversation, because there might be some ideas out there that some of us aren't thinking, which I already have one, but I don't want to talk about because I don't want it to be something everybody else talks about. So I think that might be a good choice for us to go down to include, like Michelle said, the canned hams, you know.
I've
Yeah.
never actually had one. So, and I have had one can of spam in my house in my whole life. So
Really?
it'll be a neat challenge. It's just not something that we're, it's just not in our wheelhouse.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm not against it. It just isn't something I would necessarily say, hey, I want some spam.
Unmanned urban homestead makes a valid point, though. Some people can't have it. So I get that part of
Yeah.
it. But for conversation, I think it'd be nice for us to at least have the conversation. That's all I'm trying to say, and maybe come up with different things. I won't force any homework. I'm finding that homework on the weekends is becoming hard.
Well, we should all be doing our homework early, Tony, not
You
rushing
are
it.
correct, but when the dog eats your homework, what are you supposed to do,
My dogs would eat that homework.
Yes.
I don't.
My dogs are 2-legged, not 4, but that's beside the point.
Deb C has a question. Have you ever taken your own meats and made spam?
No, that is actually something I do want to try this year. It's one of the goals I have is to make my own. I just gotta find the recipe that fits right for me.
Yes.
Huh.
And
Can
Don,
we do that because
so
it's all
excited. You got a
together.
freezer and you're able to save your vegetable scraps. So exciting.
Yeah.
So can you make a meat that's that dense and safely can it? I'm just curious because there are some things, that aren't approved.
I will actually check into that. I'll make that part of my homework for the
Okay.
week is look into it. Is there a recipe that's approved by USDA? If not, make sure people know that. But if there's, because if nothing else, I mean, freezing it would be an option, but I don't know. I don't know specifically enough about it. So it's something I will research and I'll let everybody know when we come back next week.
Sounds
because that's a valid
spam?
point. Huh?
Yeah. Homemade spam. You can fill it to your own taste. That sounds pretty good.
I mean,
monumental.
Think about this. Someone was making bologna, which is basically spam, many centuries ago.
Yes.
Just one person? Is that
No,
person still around?
No, I mean,
your
one
point
person
is that
started
it was started somewhere from somebody making
from
it.
somebody like us.
Okay. Yes. Although I think what Michelle's saying though is also a valid point. Let's find out.
Yeah,
if
no,
it
I
can be
agree.
done. No, it has nothing to do with what you're saying because you have a valid point. It doesn't happen unless you go out there and try it. That is the point. Okay. And a lot of what we all consume, enjoy, and love to eat were a lot of mistakes made along the way. That's the honesty of it. Okay. So I think it's a good thing. I think we need to address that as part of what we're talking about. So I'm all good for it. So
yeah. Yes.
Okay, everybody's excited about this whole idea of bacon spam.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sold on it yet because I don't know if you can do that or not.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I'm liking what Dark Lord's Minute is saying, and I only caught 3 words out of his line, and I was thinking, what about a seafood spam? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
They have several flavors.
Mm.
Several.
Where would we find these things besides online? Walmart?
The actual
No.
spam or spam recipes.
No, spam recipes would be easy enough, but I mean, no, I mean all these different flavors. I just figured spam was spam in the blue thing, and that's it.
No, at our Walmart I think there's 5 or 6 different flavors of spam.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go to Walmart.
And they're always out of the regular.
Yes, the regular original is always gone.
Always gone. The others you can get plenty, but the regular is almost always out.
Yep.
Well, that kind of says something, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's kind of where I was at. Maybe I don't want these ones, and I want to look for this one.
We try not to shop at the big W very often.
We don't.
Then
I
go
know.
to the little W. Go to the XYZ. I don't care where you go, okay?
I go to the big Target if I have to do that, or Costco. I don't know
I
why.
love going to the WINCO. That's where I like
Oh
it.
yeah.
We don't have one of those.
You don't have one. So.
I don't.
I'm so sorry. You guys need to make California and Washington a destination just so you can go to Winco.
Mhm.
Smells good up here.
Oh, shut up.
Well, we better make sure Tony showers before we come.
Yes.
For your safety, it might be a good reason.
So next
All
week
right.
we're going to do canned meats. Then we're going to come up with some.
I'm going to
ideas
call
for
them
canned-
luncheon meats, just because I think that includes it. Only because, I mean, we may find out that you can't can your own spam, but you can make it and freeze it or something like that. So I think it still falls into the same conversation, because our preservation is not just canning only. So
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I want to approach it as. So,
Yes.
however, I will approach it from, how do you make it? Can you can it? If anybody wants to figure out a different way, or if there are different means to do it, then you guys are more than welcome to do that.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
That way I'm only concentrating on one version of it. So,
Mhm.
okay. Grammy Jan, thank you for coming in. All right, guys, anything else? We're at 57 minutes, so we're winding it down.
Look at you go.
No. Mary Love said if
Man.
you Hawaii, you will find spam on the menus at every restaurant. They treat it like
Yes.
a delicatessen there.
Yeah.
It is.
I love it.
And it's expensive.
I've
there.
been there, and I went to, okay, of all places to go, when we went there, we went to Denny's for breakfast.
Oh,
This was back in 1989. It was $15 for toast, hash brown, spam, and eggs for a plate.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. She is correct. They treat it as a high price food item.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course, a gallon of milk was $8 too. So, I mean,
hollering.
there you go. Anyways,
Everybody's leaving us. Bye,
I know.
guys.
bye everybody. We'll quit talking so everybody can go about their business. So, all right. Well, we'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming in. Thank you, everybody that did mod. I appreciate it. Thank you to you guys, especially, because without you guys in my chat, we don't have this. So,
Yep.
You're welcome.
if anybody has any suggestions for future conversations, not next week, please email me so we can look
Yeah.
at if there's things you want us to look at. I do think I want to, after, so not next Sunday, but the Sunday after, I do want to hit equipment. We haven't had that conversation.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
So, and somebody had asked me,
Canning or
your pantry, what equipment would you have in your pantry for use if you needed it?
tools
Mhm.
we can't live without then.
Yeah.
For food, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except
I'm
for
just making
Joey
sure.
and the tweezers.
Hello,
Yeah.
Debar.
I still have them.
Yeah.
They haven't been used in the shed.
Yeah, that you know of.
No, they haven't.
I would look at, Lori brings up a good point, manual equipment, or she didn't say the or not, but I will. I'm just looking at equipment in general, but if we could, are you okay?
Yeah, I just heard like a gunshot. It was like pretty close too. It's not hunting season, so it was a little bit
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry. So I would want to address those that are electric and not electric, but at the same token, let's keep it to things that are safe and approved for use. I don't want to have a conversation about things that are not right now. I'm not ready for that conversation.
No,
Wink,
that's not a good
wink.
topic. Not a good topic.
It's not a topic as of right now, so I don't want to have it.
Suburban
But I do
hillbilly.
understand the importance. Hold on just a second. I do understand the importance because we really need to look at those things. We can still accomplish the same tasks without the electric parts of it. So I agree. Gail, what were you saying?
Suburban Hillbilly has a really good point. Never heard a good discussion on prepping as we age.
That's a good idea.
As your pantry may have to change as you're aging.
Yeah.
All right.
He's writing it down. He's got
So that is going to be week number 3 conversation.
I like that idea. That's a
yes.
really good idea.
Okay. So next week we're doing lunch and meats.
Yes.
Next week will be equipment. And then the next week will be aging in your pantry.
Yes.
That's a really, really good idea. Because
That's
we
very
end
good.
up just downsizing everything that we can. We've already started going from quarts to pints.
The other thing is Lori said water storage. I don't know enough about water storage, but if those of you that do water storage have no issue talking about the subject, I have no problem doing that. I know there's a couple of you. If there's somebody else we could reach out to that you think might help us in that, we might invite them on to help with that conversation. So let's look into that and decide whether that's something we do want to do. But I do want to throw in, let's talk about medicinal, whether it's your antibiotics, your bandages, your alcohols, and all the other stuff. Okay. So the following week after aging in your pantry, we'll talk about medicinal items.
Calendar out, right?
What?
You're going to send out a calendar, right?
Yes, I will on
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah. Well, and it also lets you guys, if you're just perusing and happen to see something you want to throw into that conversation, you can already put notes together for it. So,
yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you and have a great week. And we will see you Tuesday nights,
Yes.
4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for a game night. Theoretically, I had a back out tonight, so I'm on the look for 2 channels for Tuesday night.
Am I on this Tuesday?
Huh?
Am I on this Tuesday or next Tuesday?
I have to look. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll talk here in just a minute.
Afterwards. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye.